Welcome to the Gotta Look Up podcast. I'm your host, Tom Campbell. Today we're talking about Halloween and bags of candy. Given that today is Halloween, I thought it would be so appropriate to dedicate this Gotta Look Up podcast to the holiday and to the many bags of candy that will be taken home tonight. This is an important date for kids, so I hope that you all have planned to be home in time from work to take them trick-or-treating or to a party to celebrate. It is important family time and makes for great memories. Let me share a few of mine. Halloween for me was always a fun day. Aside from the bags full of candy and the fact that every year we tried to go to at least one more house than we did the year previous, the most memorable things were by far our costumes. My mom handmade most of our costumes, and she did that for 3 boys, and then for another son and daughter 8 and 12 years apart from the 3 older kids. For kindergarten, I, of course, was an elephant. That costume won first place in what I thought was the biggest pumpkin I've ever seen. It was a great memory. That same costume went on to win again for my younger brother and then again for my sister after my mom repurposed it and spruced it up and made it into a Dumbo costume. It's not official, but I believe that costume won more contests at Manuel de Vargas Elementary School than any other. I still have it somewhere, and I hope my grandkids will wear it someday. In 1973, I was a racehorse secretary at the Triple Crown runner that year. One year, I was a caveman and carried a big styrofoam T-Rex skull in a club. But aside from the world champion elephant costume, my other favorite Halloween memory was when my younger brother was the Cookie Monster from Sesame Street. My mom again handmade the costume using blue furry material, large round styrofoam eyes, and a sheer black cloth for the mouth that my brother could see through. She also fashioned a large chocolate chip cookie out of cardboard. When her Cookie Monster costume was announced in the school courtyard over the megaphone as the, quote, best store-bought costume, unquote, I heard a yell of, "I made that," from back in the crowd. It still makes me laugh to this day. And how skilled was my mom that the judges thought her costume was store-bought. I want to transition over now to a different story about bags of candy and tell you about a new favorite hobby of mine. I learned it many years ago from a coworker named Marty Melville. Unfortunately, Marty is no longer with us on this earth. Marty stood by me and supported me during a very difficult time in my career, and Marty left us way too soon. I believe that if people have inspired you or touched your lives in a positive way, whether you've met them or not, taking a positive attribute of theirs and applying it to your life can only improve the world. In Marty's case, I was traveling with him on a business trip, and he made a beeline for the gift shop in the airport. He bought a couple bags of candy and another bag of treats and asked the cashier to put them in a bag. I asked him half-jokingly how he planned to eat all of that on a 1-hour flight. "This isn't for me," he said. "You'll see." I followed Marty onto our flight. While on the jetway and about to enter the plane, he pulled out the bag full of treats, handed them to the flight attendant at the door and said, "These are for you." She smiled very wide and thanked him profusely. The joy on her face was palpable. This small, thoughtful gesture had made her day. When Marty and I finally got to our aisle seats across from each other, I told him that it was a really good thing that he did, and that he made that lady's day. He told me that flight attendants put up with a lot of crap, and this was a small way to show appreciation for what they do and to help put smiles on their faces. I found a new level of respect for Marty that day. I also learned that the flight attendant offered him a free drink, which I'm guessing was a planned side benefit of Marty's, if I know him that well. I've recently increased my business travel, and I'm about to get on a flight today. And for some reason, this memory of Marty giving candy to the flight attendants rushed forward in my mind. I decided it'd be fun to do this on every flight I could do to keep Marty's tradition going and to bring smiles to the flight crews on all of my flights. So far, so good. It's a lot of fun to see the reactions. And yes, I've been offered free drinks on pretty much every flight. I'm not a drinker though, so they usually give me an extra bag of snacks or cookies, which is good enough for me. That's not the reason for doing it. The reason is the reaction. I enjoy being the Candy Man, and it always reminds me of the song The Candy Man, written by Leslie Britt-Goose and Aubrey Woods and made famous by Sammy Davis Jr. It was Sammy Davis Jr.'s first #1 record. It was also sung memorably by Anthony Newley in the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory movie. Again, I won't sing this song unless people want to do a fundraising challenge for charity, but the words of the song are compelling on their own. It goes like this. Who can take a sunrise, sprinkle it in dew, cover it in chocolate and a miracle or two? The Candy Man. The Candyman can. The Candyman can because he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. Who can take a rainbow, wrap it in a sigh, soak it in the sun and make a strawberry lemon pie? The Candyman. The Candyman can. The Candyman can because he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. The Candyman makes everything he bakes satisfying and delicious. Talk about your childhood wishes. You can even eat the dishes. Who can make tomorrow, put it in a dream, separate the sorrow and collect up all the cream? The Candyman. The Candyman can. The Candyman can because he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. And the world tastes good because the Candyman thinks it should. Look up, trick or treat, happy Halloween. Let's go cover the world with chocolate and a miracle or two.